Welcome to A Journey into Yoga. I'm Susan Rubenstein. Today I'm enjoying yoga outside. Today's practice is all about yoga and renew. So what does that mean? Well, sometimes we just need to renew and reconnect to our bodies. We need to feel like we've got some kind of control on what's going on. Sometimes if we don't take time to just sit and be and breathe, spend time in nature, we start to feel anxious. We start to feel like we're just not getting our self-care in. So that's always an important thing that I like people to think about, whether it's through exercise or something you enjoy doing, biking, kayaking. Are you enjoying it? Do you feel like it's part of your self-care? Self-care in yoga is a great way to teach yourselves how to be still, how to breathe and feel connected, how to push out stress, anxiety, how to clear your mind. But it's also important to take time to renew the feeling in your body of space. Because if we're constantly moving and going, our body gets tense. We build up that tension and we just don't feel good. We feel tired, we feel sluggish. And sometimes tight muscles can just cause us to really have a hard time just getting through the day. We're always achy, our joints hurt. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try to renew our bodies with a really good and healthy yoga practice. One that is going to feel stretchy. We're going to start from the head. We're going to work our way down. We don't have to think about today getting up and having all kinds of things near us in case we need to work our balance. We're going to focus more on a seated practice. And those of you that feel more comfortable sitting in a chair, please grab that chair and join me, won't you? So just a couple friendly reminders. First, make sure you're in comfortable clothing because you don't want to feel constricted and limited in your moves. Second, make sure you're properly hydrated. If it's been a few hours since you've had a little bit of something to drink, water, get that hydration in now before you start. Have something near you. And most importantly, before you start any type of exercise program, whether it's yoga or a Pilates class or an aerobic class or a cycling class, if you haven't done that in a while, just have a conversation with your doctor at your next checkup, or maybe kind of schedule a one-on-one and see if the exercise that you're thinking of doing is appropriate for you, all right? And that applies too as you're coming off an injury. Sometimes yoga is nice to incorporate if you've just come off an injury and if you work through your physical therapy, and yoga will complement that. So I brought along today a strap which we'll be using. You don't necessarily have to have the yoga strap. You can just grab a tie, or you can grab just a belt loop or a belt, which is really helpful. You can also grab a towel. A towel is another great trick to use. And then I brought along a yoga block, which I'm going to show you a couple things that I'm going to do. Sometimes I just tell people, grab a nice fluffy pillow off your couch and you can do the same thing. And of course I have my water. All right, so every so often I'm just going to check the timer, make sure we have enough time to get everything in today. So let's start. We're going to sit with our ankles crossed or in a comfortable position. If you're in a chair, feet to the floor, turn your palms over. Let's take a few moments just to close our eyes and kind of withdraw our senses from our story so far of this day's journey, wherever you are in your day. And just concentrate on taking a nice deep breath in. We do that by connecting to our belly. So we call this diaphragmatic breathing. It might be a term that you've heard before. So basically what that is taking a nice deep breath in from your belly, as if you're blowing up a balloon. You feel the belly expand. And then slowly we let the air out, as if we were just letting the air out of a balloon. We want to draw the breath out of the belly. So if you put your one hand onto your belly, or even both, you take a nice deep breath in, full expansion. And then exhale, release the breath out. Try to create a nice length of time, 4, 5, 6 seconds long as you inhale. Complement that on the exhale. And then just start to create a nice steady pattern, a flow. We can do this again by the sense of touch, which sometimes helps us to connect deeper. Or we can do it just by sound. You can breathe in through the nose and maybe comfortably out of your mouth, or just breathe out of your nose again, whatever feels most relaxing to you. But most importantly, try to work that deep belly breath to bring that sense of calm, to create a sense of relaxation in our body. So let's bring our hands against our knees. I'm going to have you open your eyes and take a deep breath in, a little bit of flow, a little bit of movement. We're going to look up and reach. Then as we exhale, we're going to bow the chin softly towards the chest, fingers drop down. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale to lift up. And then exhale, lowering down. A couple more times, inhaling. And then exhale. So very slow moves here. So we're not trying to force the neck up and down in a quick motion. We kind of, again, want to follow that timing, the rhythm of our breathing. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath. And then set our hands down onto our knees. Good. Now, moving a little bit into the spine, we're going to inhale, lift the heart all the way up. And then exhale, a soft curve into the back, knitting the ribs together, chin comes down. Let's do that again. Moving forward, heart lifts, we come up. And then breathing out. So I'm moving my spine through extension and flexion, but carefully. Let's do that a couple more times. Deep breath in. And then out. One more time, breathe in. And then find that neutral spine as you breathe out. Good. All right, let's walk one hand up gently, just above an ear, an inch or so above the ear, and ease the head to the side. Now take the hand that's resting against your leg and just float your fingers behind you. We stay up on our fingertips. We call this potted palm. Now as I'm leaning the head off to the side, I'm going to drop my chin slightly forward. This is a great way to release tension in your neck, to open up the front of your chest, across the front of your shoulder, and to get you to use a little bit of energy from those back muscles. Concentrate on your breathing here. And then walk your fingertips to the side of the head, bring the head up, walk both hands behind now, and then lift the heart all the way up. Take some deep belly breaths here. Good, and let's take the other side. So hand comes up and over, head gently tilts. Soft placement of the chin, slightly forward, but not too much. Take one more deep breath. And then use your finger to bring your head up. Beautiful. So let's take our hands into a soft fist now. Place the fist underneath your chin. Take a deep breath in, lift the chin skyward, elbows come up. Exhale into the ha sound, breathing out of your mouth. That should feel good as the breath vibrates against the back of the throat. Let's do that 3 more times. One more time, softly lifting that chin all the way up. And then letting it out. Good. Nice job. Beautiful. So then now let's add a little bit of twisting. So we're going to wrap the ribs, lifting them around, using the part of the spine that twists. Just keep your chin in alignment with the center of your chest. Soft gaze outward, releasing tension in your back. This should always be one of those slow and controlled moves, but feeling very good and releasing, especially when we come out of it. And then slowly come back through center. Take a few breaths here. Good, and let's take it over to the other side. Same thing, a nice smooth twist, sitting up nice and tall, keeping that chin aligned with the center of your chest. Drop the shoulders down. And then come back through center. Good. Roll that out. All right, so we're going to take a side bend. Now, a nice little trick with the block is if you can't comfortably rest your hand, maybe you're working with some arthritis in your wrist or some tension in your wrist, you can use a block to put your hand down on and then take a slow side bend. You can even rest your forearm on the block, right? Or you can just take your hand down, whatever feels good. But the main thing is to lift the rib cage up, slide yourself over, and then you might even want to look up. Take a deep breath in, turn your head, and then exhale, look down. So you can do that a couple times, looking up, and then looking down very slowly. One more time, looking up, and then looking down. And then come back up through center. If you brought the block along, take it to the other side. We'll do the same thing, a nice side bend. Inhale, look up, and then slowly look down. A couple more times. So sometimes we feel stiffness in our neck, and just some subtle, gentle moves throughout the course of our day can really release that tension. And then we're going to take ourselves up. Good. All right. So let's take one leg out. We're going to keep one knee bent. Just massage that knee a little bit if it's feeling a little stiff from being in the same position. So I'm going to have you just start with one hand against your lower leg. You can always take your strap, slide it to the bottom of the foot here, or hold on to your toes. And then we're going to open this arm up, little rotation. And I'm going to have you open your heart, and your eyes are just going to follow your hand, looking out towards your thumb. So a nice stretch across the chest, keeping this leg nice and extended, nice stretch from our hamstring, but listen to your hamstring, don't overdo. And then after a couple breaths, start to turn. Hold on to both ends of the strap or somewhere along the side of your leg or your foot. Keep the integrity of your spine and lengthen. Now you might have noticed as we've turned, we start to feel it also in this hip along the bent leg side. And then another one I like to incorporate is put the strap in one hand and then slowly take that twist. And then again, the leg that I'm stretching is nice and straight, foot is flexed. And then come back through center. Take a nice deep breath in and then release. Good. All right, let's take the foot out, drop the knee side to side. And then we'll do that on the other side. So bending in the knee. Take that strap. I'm going to use the strap for both sides, but again, if you're more comfortable just reaching for your foot or somewhere along the leg, go ahead and do that. So as we take the strap into one hand, let's start to turn, rotating open. Relax the shoulders, nice stretch across the collarbones. Come back around through center. Good. Keeping the integrity of the spine once again, take a deep breath. Take a nice hinge forward, lengthen through the crown of the head, soften your eyes. And then slowly, maybe hold on to that strap and take a nice twist here. Deep, deep belly breath. And then come back around through center. All right, so we're going to take that strap away. I'm going to take the bottoms of the feet together. I love this one. So it's called cobbler pose, right? So you bring the balls and heels together, but I like to incorporate butterfly. So it's a nice way to loosen up those hips. Getting rid of stiffness and congestion in our hips. And then drop the knees out, lift the spine up. And if it feels good to you, and especially through your spine, bend your elbows in front of your shin bones. Keep your belly drawn in. Soft release of the chin, reaching out through the crown of the head, and then deepen the stretch. You can even walk your hands out here. Good. It should feel really good, especially through those inner thighs. Good. And then come up, hands behind, feet together. And then just windshield wiper your knees back and forth. This is great to break some congestion in your lower back. So if you're feeling tension through that lower back, just take a few moments to do this every day. Good. All right. So we're going to spend a little time on our knees. So this is where you might want to put a pillow underneath those knees. We're going to take it up to all fours. Now, I want you to spread your fingers in what we call a five-pointed star. So the hands are nice and open. We're going to take a nice deep breath in here. Open out to one side, deep rotation. Now, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to dive this arm under and just kind of follow that hand and look through. And do that again. Come up, inhale. And then exhale, diving under. Couple more times, inhale. Make sure your supporting arm feels good, especially through the shoulder and the elbow joint. One more time. Now, a nice one is to come down. You can rest the forearm and turn, or you can tuck and drop the shoulder underneath. Slide this hand forward, and then get a really nice stretch through the back muscles here. I love how this feels on the back of my shoulder blades. And then you maybe can even raise this arm up, hook it behind you over to the opposite thigh. Take some deep, deep belly breaths here. Slide your hand down. Now when you start to put your hand down, come up, build support. Now we're going to slide one leg back, tuck the toes under, keep the knee lifted but the toes tucked, and then rotate open. Good. So you're turning towards that bent knee, lifting your rib cage up. A nice stretch here. And then we can just start to slowly sweep that arm forward, reaching out, and maybe lift the back leg up, coming into what we call bear pose in yoga. So we want to bring the chin slightly in, soft gaze. And then take the hand down, the knee down, and then just rock a little bit. So just move your hips forward and back. Good. All right, come through center. We're going to take the other side. So we're going to inhale all the way up. And then exhale, dive all the way under. Come up again, inhale. And exhaling. We're going to pass through just a couple more times. Loosening up the spine one more time. Take a deep, deep breath in all the way up. And then as we exhale, we're going to dive under. Remember, you can rest on your forearm and just kind of peek out, or you can tuck, drop the shoulder. Kind of look underneath the arm. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, take that giant scoop, wrap everything under, and breathe. Take a couple more breaths. Good. And then start to come out. Beautiful. Start to slide. Reach that leg all the way out. Scoop the arm. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, reach. A little bit of balance. And hand down. Good. All right, spread your knees. So we're going to just rest today in child's pose, just keeping it nice and relaxed. Remember, we want to renew the body today. Just taking some quality time with ourselves. Maybe we haven't stretched in a while or come to our mat. Good, and start to walk yourself up. And we're going to take it right down onto our bellies. Now, one that I love to do just to release tension through my lower back is to create a little pillow with my arms, my forearms. Rest the forehead, bend your knees, and then just sway your feet side to side. So before we did wind chill wipers, when we were seated, we just brought the knees side to side. So this is a similar move, except you're going to feel a little bit of a massage across the front of your belly and hips. And a really nice way to loosen up that back. And then let the legs come down. So one of my favorite gentle back bends is Sphinx. So how I like to do that, and the best way to get your form set up correctly and safely, is to get those elbows underneath the shoulders. It's good to wrap your arms right across so you can reach the opposite arm right out in front, kind of get a firm grip. And that kind of sets the placement up correctly. Set your hands out, then roll your shoulders back, lift your collarbones up, soft gaze out. And this is where you really want to connect to your deep belly breath. You want to make sure you're not having a shallow and hollow breath in your upper chest. You want to go back into the belly breathing. This is going to nourish your lower back. Now, if that feels really good to you and you want to take it to the next level, then you would set your hands really deep, rooting them, yielding them into the earth. Draw your elbows up. Shoulders down, scoop the belly in. and then release. Good. And then a great way to stretch out through your quadricep, your thigh. Sit your forearm out in front of you. You can either take the loop of your strap to the bottom of your foot and then just kind of gently bring it in, heel towards your seat. Try to stay upright, or you can reach behind you and take hold of the foot and sit up nice and tall. And you want to hold that for a couple breaths, 2, 3, 4 breaths. And then try that on the other side. And then when we come back down, use your hands just to massage your lower back once again, breaking up any congestion, anything that feels tense. And then bringing your head down, clasp your hands, lace your fingers, and roll your shoulder blades in without lifting the head. Just start to feel that nice stretch through the chest. Now we can add to this, lifting the feet, legs straight, maybe the knees. And if it feels good, we can start to lift the heart and just let the head peek out. We don't need to overdo. Remember, we take things through stages and we discover what feels good for us. We breathe in and out a few times. And then we take it back down. Turn your head to one side, maybe massage your back a little bit. And then gently turn your head to the other side. Good. And start to come up. So let's take it up. We're going to take ourselves around onto our backs next. I'm going to bring my block along. So again, don't worry if you don't have one. You can always use a pillow or nothing at all. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to come down onto our backs here carefully. I'm on a little bit of a slope, but that's okay. The joy of exercising and doing yoga outside is worth it. So I'm going to just come into what we call constructive rest. Some of you can see I'm walking my feet to the edges of the mat. Knees are going to lean against each other. And this way it's just going to start to relax and open up my back. I'm just going to rest the block where it's accessible to me, that I'm going to use it in a few moments. Nice time to just connect to the sounds around you, not being distracted by something that would maybe normally make you feel agitated. Just like a cloud, just let it pass by. See if you can find yourself a little bit of space between your thoughts. A nice, deep, nourishing breath, creating a relaxation response, a feeling of calm. All right, so let's start to walk now, the feet up closer to the hips, knees apart. Now, a nice supported bridge. Slide the block right underneath where your sacrum and tail is. This one I like sometimes when I just really am feeling tired in my hips and I just want to give my spine a little bit of a lift. This is a great one to do. You can lift the hips up a little bit higher, kind of make it a little bit more of a building size lift through your block, right? So lifting it up, this is another great one to do. And then you can roll your arms out. This is more of a restorative bridge. So you want to try to be on a nice flat surface. I am on a bit of an incline, so it's starting to feel more like plow pose, but that's okay. We have to find the humor in all things. This actually feels really, really good. And then another one that I love to do is just return it to the flat side again. And just before the closing of a practice, this is just supported shoulder stand. So your hips are resting on that block, your legs are parallel to one another, your belly's pulled in. And you're just breathing, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's just taking a deep breath, letting all the unimportant things go. Just letting go of the things that you no longer need to hold on to. Things that have shaped you up to now. Just celebrate being in this moment that you're in. Celebrating your body from the inside out. So for some of you, I'm just going to let you stay here, right? This might feel really good for you. I want you to continue that. For others, maybe you want to just release the feet down, take the block away, drop the knees again, side to side, windshield wiper, and this time on our back. So we've kind of seen 3 different versions of doing this. And then you can go back to constructive rest, leaning the knees against each other, maybe your full relaxation. Let yourself go. Maybe just listen to the sound of my voice as we move towards the end of the practice. Anyone wishing to come up to seated, feel free. Otherwise, just enjoy right where you are. So let's take a few moments just to return to our breathing. That beautiful sound that our breath makes. The word breathe can actually become a mantra for one's mind. So if you find your mind being distracted and being pulled in different directions, not really pertaining to the here and now, think about the word breathe, the letters, quietly saying the word to yourself 4 or 5 times. And then just pausing to listen to what the sound is coming from your own breath. And then start to hear the sounds around you breathe. The air. Maybe the sound of the birds. A soft wind. And pause to remind yourself to feel connected. Yoga is about bringing together, bridging together the body, the mind, and the breath each and every day. Not just once in a while. So whether you have 2 minutes or 30 minutes or a whole hour, find time for yourself each and every day to do something that helps you to feel renewed, restored, re-energized, but most importantly, connected. So as time fades away, just bring your hands together. I thank you for joining me. I'm Susan Rubenstein. Until our journey and our paths cross again. Namaste.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.